Hi Leo, here is a general look at your solar chart for March 2016, and there's a lot going on in March. We've got two eclipses. The first one is a solar eclipse, a total eclipse on the 8th of March, and then the lunar eclipse is on the 23rd. So the solar eclipse involves some Saturn and Jupiter and Chiron and Neptune as well. Also some little bit of Pluto creeping in there. But eclipse energy in itself is a neutral energy of change, of new beginnings, of fresh starts. So it's on the Pisces Virgo axis, and it's at 18 to 19 degrees. So it could be affecting in a good way your current Saturn position for you guys, and Jupiter as well. Saturn is in quite a creative area. It's a speculative area. It's an entrepreneurial area. So it might be affecting anything along those sorts of lines. And Jupiter's in the area of your piggy bank, property, possessions. So until September 2016, just be open to whatever type of resource or kind of investment that you can capitalize on, including your own knowledge and experience and general leanings in a certain direction which are maybe undeveloped. So this eclipse, it can be quite materialistic, the effect that it has in your chart, possibly. But it could also be working on other levels as well. But this eclipse could mark a new start, a new beginning related to those sorts of arenas in your life. That'll be with the position of Saturn, where you got to be paying focused, nurturing attention to your creativity, Leo. Really get serious about it. Take responsibility for your God-given gift. Whatever that is, or a number of them. Sometimes it's harder when you have more than one. Not that I would know, but I've seen that, where it's like jack of all trades, master of none. So, and also take seriously your leisure activities. Really get them on the schedule. The time in your life you have for play and just letting go, and also for children. This is the area of children as well. So this could be like a real new leaf being turned, in that sort of area of children, creativity, speculative investment activity, material side of things, the piggy bank, the property, the resource, whatever it is about. Okay, and there's more that could be said, but so basically, there's a fresh beginning. And then the other thing that's interesting about that is that often the eclipse energy can show itself. You could be made known to you through an event or something going on anyway, before the eclipse happens. This is the really strange things about eclipses, especially a really, really big, strong one involving your ruling sun, because of course you are the only sign that does not have a planet ruling it. You are the sign that is ruled by the sun. So it's an interesting one, possibly an interesting one for you. So a powerful wave of expansive energy coming along, and then being made, you feeling it beforehand, but also then it unfurling and unpackaging itself for 6 to 18 months subsequent to the eclipse, depending on how significant an aspect it's made in your natal chart, and to a degree in your sun sign chart as well. It's always to a degree. So now then, there's other stuff. Oh yes, and then there's a lunar eclipse, of course, which is on the Aries-Libra axis, which is really good news, shall we say, elementally for you Leos, because you are a fire sign. And so anything going on in other fire or air signs is usually pretty good news for you. And this is encouraging new beginnings in those areas of your life, which for you will be to do with travel, abroad, higher education, or just education, and beliefs, ideologies, spirituality. It can be to do with connecting with people from another land, or just another sort of slant on things, another background. Oh, it's a very interesting area. It's an area which will broaden your horizons. And again, new leaf there. So now around the 5th to the 7th, the Sun passes over Saturn's degree in Sagittarius. That could slow it down a little bit. At the moment, you've got Saturn at a really friendly angle to your Sun. And meaning that any efforts you make to take responsibility for your creative side, maybe the side of your life where you want to be more enterprising and invest in something, time, energy, money, and make it work. This is going to help. Saturn in that position is going to help. Going over that, over the 5th and the 7th, it's fleeting, it's worth a mention. You might have to push through on something there, bit more pressure on you temporarily. And then we have Jupiter and Saturn. It's got a similar vibe. That's happening from mid-month onwards, where you feel as though, okay, I've got these parameters, I've got these limits within which I'm sort of a bit boxed in. I mean, there's a door you can get out, but it's most productive to be within this setup, maybe. So you find how to work it in the smartest way, in the most comfortable way, in the most creative way, in the most fun way, and you realize that there are other options, even though you've got to stay within these parameters. And then we have Mercury and Venus both going over Neptune. Mercury goes over Neptune on the 10th and the 11th. Venus goes over on the 19th and the 21st. And this can mean that there can be people getting the wrong end of the stick. Somebody gets, either you, somebody else. Not clear. It's not clear. Something's up in the air. You don't know. You don't have the information. Or maybe you just didn't hear the information. It was maybe there. Well, I'm just, giving examples. And then Venus going over that, meaning that all that glitters is not gold. You might get this sort of like this kind of imagination working overtime on something. But then you realize it's, you can just kind of, what looked like solid gold, you can poke your finger straight through it because it's just a little bit of glitter. Having said that, though, having covered you for that bit of it, it's really could be quite nice. There could be more entertainment around, music, dancing, art, beauty in your surroundings, kind of catching your heart, and it's just like, oh, wow, what if, and it's like that kind of dreaming potential, kind of catching it in the wind. It can be a little bit like that. Could be a person that you really connect with when you meet them. So it's different strokes for different folks. Now then, Saturn is still pretty close to Uranus in the first half of the month. I talked a lot about Saturn last month. I mean, this is the dreams coming true one. This is a really good supportive aspect, particularly for your sign, Leo. And so things are likely to change for the better, and hopes and dreams being realized if you just work consistently, and maybe in a humble kind of a way, in a modest kind of a way, but you just keep going towards the goal you want. And there can be some changeableness, there can be some crosswinds. You might have to sort of tack your way across to the other side, but you will get there. And Mars goes over the Sun in Aries in the last week, so that can be good. Again, that can be very good for your sign. A good time to get the ball rolling on something. Get kind of jump in with both feet. Get more involved. And if you aren't in the mood to jump in with both feet, then kind of maybe just contribute what you can, because this is an energy where once again, once the aspect's over, you can say, result. We got that done, whatever that was about. And then Mars, now, yeah, that's right, because Mars changes on the 6th and goes into Sagittarius. That's fantastic. Where Mars is at the beginning of the month until the 6th, and has been since the beginning of January, is in a more introspective place. It's in a place which is more to do with your private life, your inner feelings. Maybe you've been feeling more angry sometimes. Exasperated. Maybe it's with another family member. Maybe it's because of a location. It can be anything like that. A neighborhood. And you have to take decisions in that location, or to do with that family or that neighborhood or that community. You've got to be firm, and you've got to be assertive. You've got to not sort of be the little kind of, the doormat, really, in wherever it is. But you have to sort of stick up for yourself or for somebody else. But skeletons could be rattling in the closet. However, Mars moves from there on the 6th into a much more easygoing place for you, and this can be romantic for some of you. This is very creative, speculative, enterprising. It's what I was speaking about with the position of Saturn. But this will really G Saturn up when Mars comes in there. We'll kind of make it maybe we'll make it more immediate, more driven. Even though you've got to go slowish with Saturn, this will speed her up a little bit. So that can be like, okay, the lights go green, but you're still in a queue of traffic. It can be a little bit like that. It can be a little bit like that with Uranus as well, actually. Saturn and Uranus too, for the in the first half of the month. Okay, so it's softly, it's steady as you go with those ones there. Jupiter is in your area of the piggy bank, property and possessions. That's not bad. That's not bad. You Leos born the 5th to the 12th of August with 14 to 20 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most. And then we've got Saturn, I should mention, Leos born 6th to the 9th of August, or with 15 to 17 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most. And then for the rest of them, we have the Sun in a kind of a gear shifting, weighing things up, researching, being strategic with your planning area. That's up until the 20th. We got Mercury and Venus in you teaming up with someone, one-to-ones, and cooperative, compromising, of course, as well. Both Venus and Mercury move to where the Sun is, so they're all in there together until the 20th when the Sun moves out, but Mercury and Venus stay in that intuitive, feeling your way forwards area, because this can be a question of intuitive kind of inner questioning, or intuitive, just as I say, feeling your way forwards. But the Sun moves out of there on the 20th in a far more outgoing, extrovert sort of area, and it's about expansion. It's getting, really the cobwebs blown away. It boosts the spirits, and then actually that's about it. So I'm going to pull the plug there. And yes, that's about it. I don't think there's anything that I've missed out. So if you know your rising sign or your moon sign, you can listen to those. You can check on any of this material on DianaGarland.com, and I'll see you the next time.